All right, so as I write, you need to write. We are starting our Unit 3 notes, and this unit is expressions. What we'll be focusing on for this first part of the unit is our standard MGSE 6.EE.1. And this standard is dealing with exponents. Some of you may remember some things about exponents. So that will be a perfect explanation because you already kind of have some information you know. So let's take a look at an exponent. Let's say we have the exponent 10 squared. Well, which number is the exponent? So looking closer, this squared here is the exponent. And this tells us, so exponent, and this tells us how many times to multiply the base to itself. And now which number is the base? Well, this 10 here is what we call our base. And this number, the number used as a factor. So we have 10, this is a factor, and the 2 is telling us how many times to multiply this factor, multiply this base. So let's take a look even closer at this example. So 10 squared is equal to 10 times 10, 2 times. So what we call this here, this is our multiplication expression. So writing out using multiplication. And this here is our exponential form. So when we write it in exponential form, we're writing using the exponent. When we write the multiplication expression, we're writing out our multiplication of the number of times we have that power. All right? So let's keep moving. Let's try some examples. Let's say we had 8 times 8 times 8. And I want to write this in exponential form. So the first thing I want to ask myself, well, what are the factors? The factors are 8. My base is going to have to be 8. What is the number of times we multiply 8 to itself? Well, 1, 2, 3. And so our exponent would have to be 3. All right, let's keep it moving. Let's try another one. Let's say we had 1 times 1 times 1 times 1 times 1. All right, well, our factor is 1, so our base is 1. And how many times did we multiply 1 to itself? 5 times. 1 to the 5th power. So now, let's try some problems where we actually have to find the value. So let's first, let me give you the instructions. So this example, the first thing we're going to do is write each as a multiplication expression Then find the value. All right, so let's try this first example. So we're actually going all the way this time. We're finding the value. So let's take a look. What if I have 1/7 to the third power? Well, my factor, my base is 1/7. So I'm going to be multiplying 1/7 times 1/7 times 1/7 3 times. So now this is just multiplication. I can do my multiplication. 1 times 1 times 1 is 1. And then I can get my calculator so I don't have to do too much work in my head or on my paper. I want to get 7 times 7 times 7. 343. And I like to recheck to make sure I typed it in right. 7 times 7 times 7. 343. So 1/343 is the value of 1/7 to the third power. All right, let's do another example. So now let's imagine we have 2 to the 5th power. Well, I'm going to do 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. I could just get my calculator to do it for me. Get my calculator open. 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. 32. I did 2 times 2 times 2 5 times. All right, let's try one more example. Let's say we had 1.4 squared. So we're going to take our 1.4 times 1.4 twice. Get my calculator. 1.4 times 1.4. I get 1.96. And that's all we need to know when dealing with exponents. All right? Let's start some practice.